welcome to the final episode in this mini-series of our album of the year 2020. I almost forgot where I was going in my first sentence of the recording, but we're going to go with it because we're never perfect.
I am.
In this episode, we will be ranking our combined top 10. Obviously, as we've said with every episode so far, if you haven't listened to our individual episodes, I cannot stress enough how important that will be, especially to this episode.
Yes.
If you haven't done it for any, I really mean do it now.
We implore you.
Yes, but I think we should just get straight into it, shouldn't we,
Dive
boys?
right on into this rank sesh.
Yes, I think we should.
Oh, I love a good rank.
Especially when you're at home alone. I just want to point out to anyone to listen to the podcast version of this. There will be a video of it. Hopefully, there'll be
Hopefully, if it all goes well.
There'll be a video version of this on YouTube, where you'll be able to see us making the list as we go.
Yes.
I don't know about you two. I've listened to podcasts of like games of the year and stuff, and it's very hard to keep track of that in your head. So if you're a bit more visually minded, check out our YouTube channel, Falls on a Hill.
We're finally thinking of you 4 episodes into this mini-series.
Yeah.
Well, we have tried, haven't we? It's just not working.
This one's a bit more complicated, so we thought we'd make the extra effort here.
Yes. We thought we'd pretend to be your least favourite lecturers and do a Zoom share screen session.
So yeah, check that out on YouTube. Pause now and go and watch that instead. Keep this running just so we get a little listen. But yeah, so we'll get started. So the way I've split this up, on the left-hand side we have our individual top 10 lists. Colin on the left, me in the middle, Yanni on the right, as it says in the headers. Top to bottom is number 1 to number 10. Hopefully that makes sense. And these are frozen in place.
Wow.
Give me. Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
I did have one for the other one, but I've forgotten what it was. On the right-hand side, we have all of the individual artists from these 3 lists. So some of them are repeated, but these are all the unique entries, essentially, into our 3 top 10s. These are alphabetically ordered. In how I alphabetize things, this is how my record collection is. It might look a bit weird. That's how it goes. Any questions on that? Yanni, I feel like you have a thought on that.
No, because it's fine. We'll go into.
That's exactly how I.
Okay. I realised that one's in the wrong place. No, it's not. Okay. So, and this one is we're going to be sweating through this now. I don't know what that
Brilliant.
was. Something like that. This is still hotly contentious. Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Hotly contentious.
We're all just thirsting on each other.
So, that's not supposed to pop up. Right. So, I think the first thing here
Smooth.
is...
Oh no, my history.
Oops. The first thing here is to... I think there's not many, but there are a few that are covered across either 2 of our lists or 3 of our lists. So I think we should pull those out because they're most likely going to be on our top 10 list, and then we'll work through the rest and kind of knock some off.
That's where we'll argue, yeah.
Yeah, we'll fight.
Knock me off if you want, mate.
The first one we have with... there are 2 that all 3 of us have on our list. So we're going to whack these kind of straight to the top. We have Declan McKenna's album Zeros, and we have the Sports Team album Deep Down Happy. So I'm going to put those at the top. I'm going to put a little space between those and those.
Thank God.
Now we have 4 albums that 2 of us have on our list. So the first one being Blossom's album Foolish Loving Spaces, which was on both of your lists. Everything's album Reanimator, again on both of your lists. HMLTD's album West of Eden, again on both of your lists. And lastly, The Strokes' album The New Abnormal, which was on mine and Yanni's lists, I believe. You can check, they are on the left hand side if you want to have a little look. Okay, so these are our 3 covered on all 3. These are covered on all 2. We'll talk about those later. For now, we're focusing on these albums here. So
how many have you got so far? In the official, they're definitely in.
More than likely, 6. Definitely in 6.
Okay.
So we
right, well, that's
basically,
fine.
unless for some reason we want to knock one of these out, we have 4 places to work with here.
Okay.
And we have, quick maths, is that like 15, 16 albums?
Yeah.
16 albums.
If you say so.
We have
brother.
16 albums to work through.
Okay.
Now, I thought probably the best way to do this is to go one by one and knock one off from our lists that are on here.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
So, do you want,
Cal?
do you want to start, Callum?
Well, I think the logical place to start would be at number 10. So I will knock off James Wrighton's album, The Performer. Thank you, Chris Tarrant.
What the fuck is that face that you're pulling, Liam?
The I think
The Guinness is
I had the
obviously
Guinness in the freezer to
bit
cool it
warm.
down, and it's the froth's all weird. Sorry, that was James Wrighton's album, The Performer. Callum, we're getting rid of.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
thank you very
please.
much there,
Spin it off.
and we will
Spin
delete
it
that
off.
there.
Okay. Liam,
Liam next. I am not going to go to
you
my...
don't have to follow
Yeah,
the same
I'm
logic
not
as
going to go
that,
to my
you-
number
yeah.
10
Okay.
because I'm going to go for one that I know neither of you will allow on this list, which is
Yes.
Kevin
That's a good
Morby's,
Just get out of the way
Morby's
now.
album
Yeah.
Sundowner, which I very much
That's a good way
enjoyed.
to-
Thank you, Kevin
Fine.
Morby. But it's gone. Yanni.
With that same logic, I'm also going to pick one that you two won't put on this, and that's going to be Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon 3, R.I.P. Hudder.
He's not dead.
Yeah. He is on this list, though.
That is true. Thank you, Kid
Mhm.
Cudi.
That is a truth.
Okay, so we're now down to
Truth.
13. We have 9 more to go. So basically 3 rounds of this, and then we're...
It's just
We've got
going a
some-
lot more smoother than I expected it to,
Yeah.
but I think the
I don't think it's going to carry
no,
on.
it's
that
not.
way.
Callum, I think we can move this up now. Oh, it's about there.
Yep, I think, again, for the sake of democracy, I think I'm going to get rid of Chiron Earth's Polysong.
Chiron Earth, Polysong.
From-
I'm trying to find a way if I can
Don't
like,
delete-
mark them off
Yes.
here.
Don't-
I can't. Okay.
Don't bother with that, mate.
Yeah, I just want to like highlight them, but I don't think I can because we're in that table.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could have actually highlighted these all in red instead of deleting them, but who cares?
No, put him off.
Actually, no. Just bear with us.
No, delete him.
No, I'm gonna
No,
move
delete
them
them.
to like the bottom. Okay.
Oh,
no,
what-
because it's much easier. Fucking hell.
You can't do this
Yeah,
mid-recording,
no,
my
listen,
son.
It's all fun and games.
It was.
And so your album, remind me again, Callum, was which I've just
Chiron
deleted.
Earth, you've just,
Thank you.
you've just
Yeah.
removed it.
Okay,
You're
so now it's
welcome.
my list.
It is.
I'm going to go with, I think, obviously one of my favourite albums here, but Andy Schaff's album, The Neon Skyline.
Wow.
Oh, well, shouldn't I? If you want to argue with that,
Well, I'd personally prefer that to the disc and probably the Idols record, but I mean, it's
to the disc
your
and the
choice.
Idols, but I feel like you kind of liked the disc, Yanni. See, I was also thinking
Not in
Baxter,
it.
but I think you kind of liked Baxter, Callum. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I would
I think I'm going to get rid of...
rather only ever listen to
Okay.
Baxter
Disc.
Joy
I
again
think
than listen
you're
to
better
disc.
off getting rid
I'm gonna
of
get rid
disc
of
if you've got to make a choice here.
That's fine. I'm very much willing, and I think this is good, to discuss what we're doing. If one of us
Yep.
thinks it should stay, then we might as well call it out. It's our collective top
Right.
10. Cool. Yanni?
The Cribs Night Network. I mean, I was thinking in my head it's a bit more difficult for me now, but that was a last minute decision to have that on as number 10 because I had to have 10 albums, so it only makes sense that I should want to pin that one off.
Okay. No objections?
I don't think there is.
Nope.
Callum?
Oh, I am gonna go Porridge Radio. Every bad.
Liam?
I would say there's another one that I think's less likely. That personally, and I know Yanni
Yes.
didn't listen to it anyway. Although I don't know if Porridge Radio is going to make it anyway, but I think there's one should go over this.
No, but I know you felt quite indifferent to that other album, whereas Yanni hates
Yeah.
the Porridge Radio style.
Yeah.
So I think that should go before the one that you're not as keen
Okay.
on, because I don't think you hate it. I just don't really think it's.
I didn't listen to it, and neither did Yanni.
Oh well, you
It
mentioned.
depends
the
how much
single.
you love it.
Well, I think. No, get rid of Porridge Radio.
Okay. It's back to
Liam?
me. back to me. Okay. Wait, so what's our list here?
It's right in front of you, mate.
No, I'm looking at it. I want to say that I don't want to get rid of one of mine just yet.
Well, that's not how this democracy
No, but
works.
just take a look at the list. And so left of mine there, we've got sorry.
If I'm being honest,
Well,
I'm
which
at the
one?
same
Alright.
stage in my life.
Which
I think,
one?
I'll be honest, Callum, I think it's yours that needs to be cut down more.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to.
As a
agree.
collective, as a joint, I think that yours has got the most
Binnable tunes.
standing out.
All right, I'll say get rid of one, but one I want to keep.
Right.
I'll get rid of the Wesley Gonzalez Appalling Human album.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with that.
Mhm.
Yanni, do you have any thoughts?
Uh,
I feel like now, maybe, unless you've got one from your list, maybe just open this up.
Well, it's not what I want to get rid of, and I know we're not ordering things yet, but I do want to say that I don't want Declan McKenna to be 1 or 2. I know that's.
We're not there
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
want
do that
that to
later.
be
Don't
number
worry
one.
about
We're not
that.
I would say that either. For me, it's a mixture of your ones. Actually, no, it's a mixture of Baxter Jury, Idols, Alexander, Andy Shelf, or Sorry. I could
Yeah,
I
I
could see
completely
all
agree
of
with all
those
that.
go in. The other
Yeah,
ones
me
I
too.
don't want to go.
Okay.
But how many does that leave?
Yeah,
us
I
with?
Okay.
think we
wanna-
can all agree that Eve Tumor, Bombay, and Tame Impala
Yeah.
are gonna stay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not massive on Tame Impala. And Callum, were you massive on Tame Impala?
I like the album. It just wasn't in my top 10. I thought it was 10 better albums.
Okay, I think for now, I definitely want to move that up.
Okay.
Because I agree. I think Bombay and Eve are both there.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, what I would argue, Liam, is you were ready to get rid of Andy Shelf before.
Yeah, you were.
Mhm.
So I think Andy Shelf should
Now's the time to go.
be
Okay,
shelved.
Brilliant.
Great on. What's happened then? Don't know what just happened. Okay, that's fine. Now we've got these manageable. I want to quickly run through this with people listening.
Mhm.
We have our top 2 at the moment, because these are the ones covered by all 3 of us. Declan McKenna, Zeros, and Sports Team Deep Down Happy. We have in the second stage, which were on 2 of our lists, Blossoms, Everything, HMLTD, and The Strokes. Of the remaining 16, we've whittled that down to 7. 2 of which we're pretty certain are going to be in this top 10, which are Bombay Bicycle Club and Eve Tumor. And then the last 5 battling out basically for 2
Two.
spaces.
Yep.
Baxter Diori, Idols, Alexandra Saviour, Sorry, Tame Impala. I feel like there's an obvious answer for one of them, but I also kind of don't want to give in to that, which is Idols.
Right, no. I was going to say that I really will fight for Tame Impala.
Yeah, I'd be much more inclined to back Yanni with Tame Impala being in there than Idols being in there.
And
Purely
Yeah,
for the
okay.
fact that I think the Idols album was such a letdown.
yeah,
No, my that's what my point was, is that I feel like it kind of, based on our top 10 list and our honourable mentions, it should be in there, but I don't want to give in to that. I kind of also agree that it shouldn't be there,
I feel.
but I don't want to delete it just
Okay,
yet.
all
but-
right, well, okay. So I would say,
Go on.
like, out of all of them, Tame Impala,
Pick
I
2
want
now.
to. No, I'm going to pick one for now. Tame Impala, I want to. I want to save that. And if Cal agrees with me, out of the rest of the options there, then I don't think there's any other. Right, let's work it this way, because 2 of us agree on one so far. So the 2 of us agree
Yeah.
on any of the others stay in there.
Should we all maybe go through and pick 3 of these and kind of work out from there? Because there's bound to be some that aren't mentioned, and we'll wipe those off.
Okay.
And this is personal, so don't think about the group now. You're
Okay.
3 from those bottom 5, which are Baxter Jury, Idols, Alexandra Saviour, Sorry, Tame Impala.
Okay, I'll do mine first. My 3 would be Idols, Alexander Saviour, and Tame Impala.
Okay, I'm going to put a little mark by them.
Well, okay.
I'm sure we can remember them.
Ma-
It's only 3.
No, just so we can keep tally.
Mine would definitely be Tame Impala for 1.
Mhm.
because I've listened to it more, I'm going to have to say Idols. Nope. Idols. But then I'm struggling to think of... Out of those, I've only got one song to go off because I've only really liked one song. For me, Alexandra Saviour isn't in that. But out of the songs I like from them, I think Sorry wins it. So my third option is going to be Sorry. And
Sorry.
Apologies.
I would say from these, I'm basically going against what I said earlier.
Basically, Liam's going to pick his three.
Well, yeah. I'm going to say Sorry again. I haven't listened to Alexandra Saviour, so I mean that's my own bad.
Yeah.
I just didn't really care for Tame Impala, so I kind of have to do Sorry, Idols, and Back to Jury.
Right.
Again, though, like I said, there's something about Idols being there annoys me, but
Well, that
Yeah, I'm not happy at all.
neither am I.
we do. But there's a reason it's there, I guess.
And
Is
we've
there not?
all picked it. That's just not right.
Wasn't
know.
it? Is there something we got rid of that we should have kept somewhere? I don't know.
think there is because
No.
I agree with everything else we've got rid of.
Yeah,
Did
correct.
we all like Andy Schaff more
No.
or
No, that's what
Kirsten
I
Nurse?
no.
don't know.
I agree with these five.
Yeah. So well,
Like as a collective. Obviously,
Okay.
I prefer different albums. Otherwise, these would have been in my top
Yeah.
10.
of course.
You know what I mean? As a collective, I can understand.
I feel like okay. So to
From here, the three are obvious.
yeah, well, you can get rid of Baxter and Alexander because they've got the least votes. So
Oh, okay. So just to confirm, then, are we happy that that's the way democratic? That's how it works. Are we happy to get rid of Alexandra Saviour and Back to Jury?
I'm not happy, but yes, I understand.
I'm
that
also not
democracy.
happy. Back
Stop
to
the
Jury,
count.
but collective. It's how it works. Okay, cool.
We won this election by a lot. Sorry, that was my other.
Right.
my other
Should we
Twitter
work
account.
from the bottom here?
right.
If we pick one from the bottom, and then we'll say, is every album better or worse than that album?
I feel like we should pick the top. But is that?
Or the middle, maybe.
No, that's just.
If we pick one that we think, like
Hey,
I
I'm
would
just gonna
say,
pick an album. No.
Out of these three, Tame Impala is 100% in there for me.
Yeah.
Without
well,
a
these
shadow
are
of a
all
doubt.
in now. Are
Yeah.
they? Oh no, there's
No.
still, sorry, there's one more to
Oh
go.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry,
well, in
miscounted.
that case,
There's one more to go.
sorry.
Bear in mind, these are still technically, these are all in it. They're all in it, and so they're all up for going.
Well, you shouldn't have deleted the dots because I think that would have given us an answer.
It was two.
shit.
It was 3 to Idols, 2
Two
for
for
Sorry,
Sorry,
2
two
for
for
Tame
Tame
Impala.
Right. Well, I'm.
But I'm not happy with Sorry being in the
No,
top 10.
neither am I.
I think Perfect is a fantastic
So
song.
that's it. Pete.
That's about it for
Yeah.
me, personally. I know, Liam, it was your number one, and that
My number one.
might have to hold some weight to it. I understand that, but
I can't
don't
argue. The thing is, like, I really don't care for Tame Impala's album, but I'm not going to say it's bad. And if Yanni loves it as much as I love Sorry, and also Callum likes it, I can't really argue that. I guess.
Well, that's the thing. If there was more songs on the Sorry album, it would be more of a difficult choice for me. But Perfect is where it sort of peaks and then troughs. So, yeah, I'd say we'd have to get rid of Sorry, which is left us in a very weird position where Idols have somehow gone from.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about this.
Okay.
Well, let's say bye to Sorry 95, which I guess is on number 11.
But-
I'll live with that.
Okay, but it's not on the list, is it?
I'm going to live with that. That's how I'm going to deal with it.
Okay.
Don't like this isn't capitalised.
you did it.
Right.
So, for me, out of all these,
Hang on. Let's just do a rundown of the top
Yeah,
10 before we
okay,
go.
yeah.
in no particular order, but in somewhat of an order, Declan McKenna Zeros, Sports Team Deep Down Happy, Blossoms Foolish Living Spaces, Everything Reanimator, HMLTD West of Eden, The Strokes The New Abnormal, Bombay Bicycle Club Everything Else Has Gone Wrong, Eve Tumor Heaven to a Tortured Mind, Idols Ultramono, Tame Impala The Slow Rush.
I'm just going to say that it wouldn't surprise me if you all picked The Strokes' album as number one.
I don't think it should be number one.
I don't think that. I don't think we should talk about number one just yet.
No.
Doesn't seem right to skip to the top. I think we
I
should
think
work
it
our way
should
up.
be very high, but I don't think it should be number one.
I think we know. For me,
I agree.
Out of these albums, I would
it.
say, because it just wasn't on my list, Tame Impala would be bottom, but I can accept Idols being
No,
bottom.
Idols is bottom.
100% bottom.
Sorry.
Idols should
No,
not.
actually,
be
no,
on this
sorry,
list,
sorry,
I'm
I've gone.
fuming.
Yeah, I don't. It is bugging me a bit. It's on this list, but there just wasn't as much that we've all agreed on. Oh no, what's going on? Don't want to pay. There wasn't enough. There wasn't enough that we've all, I guess, agreed on this year, or we've all had in we haven't had as many similarities on our lists, which has meant that one that we all thought was all right is like the last remaining one that we all like. Somewhat. I guess we haven't really talked about what's on our honourable mentions.
That
maybe
but
no, because
if they didn't make it into our top 10, at least one of our top 10, they shouldn't be in our collective.
Yeah, but like Eve Tumor didn't make it onto either of our.
No, but that's what I was going to get at this before. Like that was in your honourable mentions, but I happened to bring it up in mine, so the point's invalid. It's still in a list of top 10s.
Yeah, if it's in none of our top 10s, then it shouldn't be discussed. Is what I mean.
That's fine.
Because we all did
just
say
thought
that we loved the Eve Tumor one, but my stupid rule prevented it from being in my top 10.
That's fine. I just had a quick look anyway. None of my top 10s I'd say, and none of yours, Callum, so that's fine. We're sticking with this. Sorry, honourable mentions, I mean.
Right, so Idols is definitely 10. That's what we've decided.
I'd go as far as to say that Tame Impala is probably number 9.
I would say so. If I was to list this now,
I would prefer Bombay to be number 9, to be honest. But
I think I preferred the Bombay album personally.
Do you?
Definitely preferred the Bombay album.
Okay.
I could put Everything at number 9 personally, and Blossoms really, but I know how much Callum you love that.
Yeah, but I'm not under any illusions that it's going to be number 1. So
to me, if I was to kind of split this in two spaces, it's Declan, Sports Team, HMLT, Strokes towards the top.
Do you want to?
I'm not sure about a couple.
Just move those
and
to
then
the
towards
top,
the bottom.
Move the Strokes up.
I can get on board with that.
Oh. HMLTD, the Strokes. And I would put at least middling Bombay Bicycle Club and Eve. And for me, if I was to move that down, they're my kind of bottoms, personally.
Right, no. For me, I would put Declan lower down, personally. But I'm willing, for the sake of democracy, for it to be higher up. For me, it would be Idols, Bombay, then Declan, and then it's a mixed match.
I think Declan needs to at least stay in the top group for now, considering that it was both second and third places in mine and Callum's. So we can discuss that later. I don't think it's going to stay at number 1. Don't get me wrong.
It won't stay at number 1 though.
Yeah, but I don't think we can talk about that just yet. So if we're looking at ninth place.
Why do you guys want Bombay so high up?
I don't want it that high. I think that should be in amongst Blossoms and everything, personally.
This is not far from a list that I would have.
There's a few
got a top round.
I'd put Blossoms above Bombay, personally.
Would you put... So you put Bombay above Tame?
I would. Personally. Yeah.
You would? Right, okay.
Yeah.
So let's just put that there.
Okay.
We've agreed that it's better than Tame.
Well, we've not. But
Everything.
I'll accept it for the sake of this.
We're just going to need to drop back on democracy here. Everything. Is it better than Idols?
Yeah.
I would say yes. Okay. Is it better than Tame Impala?
No.
I'd say yes.
See, I'm going to agree with... I'm going to disagree with most of these, sorry.
No, I actually think the Tame Impala might be better, actually. I'm going to go back on that. The one listen I've given to both of them.
The thing is, I disagree with where Bombay is, so it's difficult for me to have an opinion
far.
That
will start moving up and start bumping down. We're talking for Tame Impala specifically. Is everything better than Tame Impala?
No, for me.
I think no.
I am very neutral on the matter, so I'm happy to accept that it's not if you both believe that it's.
Well, you being neutral is better than having a strong opinion at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Blossoms better than Idols.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. But Blossom's better than everything.
Yes.
Yep.
Blossom's better than Tame Impala.
Not for me, no.
I think
I
it
also
is
would say no.
personally. But I think my bias probably is weighing in on that.
I not to just like shit on your beliefs. I do think your bias has something to play in that.
Yeah, probably. I'd be happy with it below Tame Impala or above, but I think it should be in and around there in our combined top 10. Either in 8th or 7th.
Okay. Eve Tumor.
Um,
I'm going to skip to better than Blossoms.
Yeah.
Better than Tame Impala.
Yes. I think a lot more exciting.
Yanni, obviously this is hard for you. This is your number. Tame Impala is your number 1 album.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
but
trying
Jan,
not
you've got to remember.
Okay, yeah, you don't need
Blossoms
to
is
tell
my
me.
number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Can I just quickly say your number 1 is the highest of all number 1s. So absolutely.
Liam's number 1's not even in here.
Mine's not even in.
No, I know.
Take
No,
some
I'm
solace
trying
in that.
to be objective about it.
Go on.
But
You're failing.
it's- No, because
I would say this is the last one where you have to do the comparison.
yeah,
Because after that, all these next ones are above it.
I think
we would.
if I'm going to put in
right.
here,
Go on.
I think Eve's Tune is better than Bombay Bicycle Club album.
Well, the thing is, if I was to,
I don't.
I would be happy, like for the rest of them to be whatever, if Tame Impala was above Bombay and then Eve Tumor was above Tame Impala.
See, these are the three that are tricky because I would have Eve between Bombay and Tame.
But would you? Right.
So I would have Tame the lowest, then Eve, then Bombay higher. And I guess we all three of us have this different. I
So
guess.
is Eve always better than Bombay for us?
No, I don't think it's better than Bombay. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think it's better than
I
Bombay.
think it's better than Bombay, but I
Okay.
don't think it's better than Tame Impala.
I'll give in to that. I personally prefer Bombay's album. So the question here then is, you think the Tame should be between Bombay and Eve?
I would happily accept everything else we do if it was, yeah.
Callum, do you think, I'll ask this again because we have actually done this, is Bombay Bicycle Club album better than Tame Impala's album in your eyes?
Sorry, I am very aware this is an audio podcast and I'm not talking, but
That's fine.
I really don't know. It's really hard. I personally believe that I prefer the singles from Bombay Bicycle Club's album. I'm not going to lie to you there. But I love Tame Impala, so I don't want to keep like shitting on Kev.
You need to take that out of it. This is not.
Yeah.
Kev is in the top 10 list regardless at this point.
Yeah, if I was sitting down on a sunny day and I was putting a record on, I'd probably put the Slow Rush on over Everything Else Has Gone Wrong.
Does
I
that
was
mean it's
having
a
a
better
nice-
album?
Well, I mean, if you listen
think
to
Of
it's
the
it
best
more,
albums? No, not necessarily.
I'd
Is it
rather-
the best album 2020?
I'd rather have a nice Di Serrano listening to the Slow Rush, having a little hip waggle. Yeah, I'd say Tame Impala is better than Bombay. Very reluctantly, but I think, gun to me head.
Well, Democracy's done it. I personally, as I mentioned, would have Eve and Bombay swapped here. I would have lived with this list, but hey-o.
for me now, that's I'm happy with that.
That's the bottom 6.
Yeah, without me being like, well, Tame Impala should be higher up than that. Like, I could happily live with that.
Okay, I can deal with that. So let's run through then our 10 to 6 basically, because I think they're pretty
10 to 5.
Yeah, sorry, 10 to 5. Number 10 we have Idol's album Ultra Mono. Number 9 we have Everything's album Reanimator. 8 is Blossom's Foolish Loving Spaces. 7 is Bombay Bicycle Club's long name album. Number 6 is Tame Impala's Slow Rush. Number 5 is Eve Tumor's Heaven to a Tortured Mind. We have 4 left here that are kind of in our top cluster. We have The Strokes, The New Abnormal, HMLTD's West of Eden, Sports Team Deep Down Happy, Declan McKenna's Zeros. I don't want to speak on your behalf, Yanni, but I think you think McKenna goes next.
I do.
I would put HMLTD next.
I think
You'd put The Strokes, Colin?
Let him speak.
I'll speak
Probably.
myself.
Probably yes, but I am more inclined to put Declan McKenna there,
Okay.
In
which
fourth.
is very strange because I'm aware that I put him above both Sports Team and HMLTD in my list. I know it's very strange, but
I'm trying not to view my own personal list in this and just
well, you failed with Tame Impala, mate. I'm not gonna lie
Yeah,
to you.
you pretty did
You
step down on
pretty
that one.
well, that's the only one there that I'm really.
I'd put the Strokes, but I know that you two are both gonna deny that. So
Well, I would say Declan, like you say. Personally,
Should we at this point get our number one out of the way? Because
I think we
it's pretty
all know who our number one's gonna be. Should we all say it after 3?
it's the only other one that we've had all three of us covered. So yeah. Go on, after 3.
Oh well, you've given the game away there.
Well, should we could have guessed anyway.
2, 3.
Sports
team.
Deep down happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that is a unanimous number one.
I don't think we can argue that isn't, doing the system we had a second ago. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly you could have said that an album's better, but not all three of us could have agreed that an album was better than Deep Down
So
Happy.
I'd do Sports Team, Strokes, HMLT, Declan. They're my thoughts.
I do Sports Team, and then fourth HMLTD. I'm not sure about Strokes and McKenna.
I would do Sports Team, 4th the Strokes, 3 HMLTD. So the way it is, and 2 Declan McKenna. But
Where did you have
So,
HMLTD?
Yeah,
Yanni?
HMLT's our third then, I think, is what we've decided from that.
Oh. But this is hard because we've then decided between second and fourth.
Yeah, but
That's
No,
weird.
no.
Surely that can't be how it works. Surely.
no, just do it because we've all pretty much just said there that West of Eden is.
No, I can't.
Why
No,
not?
I can't. That doesn't seem right. Right, let's start with the Strokes. Is the Strokes better than Evetune's album?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay.
we've decided that this is our top 4.
Is HMLTD's album better than the Strokes album?
No.
I
No.
personally think it is. I mean, I can understand it being 4th. I think.
And by the way, my opinion on the Strokes album isn't me in any way being biased from their first 2 albums, which I love, and me saying I love the Strokes.
Yeah.
This is just this album. I think it is
Yeah.
better than HML TD.
I can accept that. I'll go for that.
I also agree with that. So that leaves us with Declan McKenna. This is the most contentious.
It really
one.
is.
Really,
Yeah.
isn't it? Is Declan McKenna's album Zeros better than HMLTD's album?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Outruled, Yanni. Is it better than the Strokes album?
Yes.
No.
See, this really does lie with me then, because I'm really not sure. Because the way I put it before, I said Sports Team first, HMLTD fourth, and these two I'm not sure about. So, on my list, these were Declan was third, Strokes was fourth. Yanni's yours was Strokes second, Declan eighth.
Yep.
But Callum didn't have the Strokes and had Declan at second. So I feel like even if you were trying to find kind of the average of that, it would be pretty.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Come on, Range boys,
Equal?
step up.
I don't like that this almost lies with me.
Do you want me to take the reins and say where it should be then? No, I'm joking.
Yanni, you think Strokes is better. Callum, you think Declan McKenna's album. Which one do I think is? Which one do I enjoy listening to more? I'm going to give the answer as Declan McKenna's album. Which one do I think is the best album? I don't think that's the same, but I'm not sure.
Well, this is that's pretty much a whole different thing then, because if we're doing it for like, oh yeah, well this is the best album as an album, rather than
That's what
do
we're
I
doing.
listen to this more, then that changes things a bit, really, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but this is all subjective. But
Yeah,
I'm
it's
trying
all-
to turn this
yeah.
into an objective thing because I can't really. Oh, I'm trying to include that in some way. And I think
How
that
do you feel
the
if
Strokes
I
album
say
is a
to you,
better album.
the Strokes album is better than Declan McKennan's Zeros album? How's that make you feel?
Fine, but so does the other way around.
Okay.
So I don't know. I
Oh.
can't really. This is what I mean. Do we have a joint second?
We
No.
can't have that.
I think personally, because we were so accommodating to Yanni bumping up Tame Impala, he should concede at this moment in time. Because to use his own words, he'd be happy with the list going from here.
But also we have Your Everything Everything and Blossoms down the bottom.
Mm.
But then again, they were both on Yanni's list, so
I'm not going to concede yet because Liam isn't anywhere near making a decision. I don't feel like. So I want him to be a bit more set on his decision before I concede.
I'm just looking through the rest of our top 10 here.
Have you got the albums in front of
Which
you?
I don't agree with half of them.
Do you want to maybe look through like track listings and then just see? Do you want to fight your corner, Callum, or not? You're not really that bothered.
Well, I mean, it's not as if I'm not gonna sleep tonight if the Strokes are second, but I just think, personally, think the Declan McKenna album is better. I've got more of an affinity to it. I think I connect with the songs more. It's just more my style. Whereas I have said numerous times, I'm not really a fan of the Strokes.
Yeah.
Really, I like the odd tune, yes, but personally, I would have the Strokes a lot further down in this list.
Wow.
If it wouldn't be in my list.
Yanni, I want you to plead your case, or you don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, I'd have it above Declan. One, because since they've been released, I've found myself listening to the Strokes more, and I mean that in just this album. I've found myself listening to this album more. It's made my appreciation for the other Strokes songs before this album go up as well. Like, I've found myself enjoying the Strokes more because this album's been released. I can't say the same about Declan. I feel like this album's a step up from his last one. It's not really. Maybe he'll go back and listen to like the older ones more.
Taken over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that is, you could look at it in a way as this album is such an improvement that you don't feel like the old songs are actually that good anymore, which is kind of how I feel. I can't remember the last time I listened to Declan's first album. Whereas this one I have on very regularly.
When I heard this Strokes album, I can't get across the feelings. This sounds super wet. I'm about to say, I can't sort of explain the feelings I had. It was a relief, but I don't want that to sound like a bad thing.
I get it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I was very blown away by this album, as I imagine you were with Zeros, Cal. So I mean, that probably is a nothing point to be made. At this point, Liam, I think you should just decide, really.
I've got an answer.
Okay.
I'm just going to give the answer and then I'm going to explain why.
Okay.
Declan McKenna is second.
Because?
I'm going to rip that band-aid off. Okay. Yanni, I agree with everything you've just said, and I appreciate everything you just said. I think this was the Strokes album is a fantastic album. I think it's a great return, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Declan McKenna album, on a personal level, I've listened to a hell of a lot more, and would say as a collection of songs, I probably enjoy more, and it's just something to do with the fact that it's easier to listen to, probably, and that's why I've listened to it more than the Strokes album, and so it's just become, on a personal level, I prefer it.
Okay.
So I appreciate you going for everything you said, Yanni, and I do feel a bit bad.
I
feel bad because
time for you to make a decision, really.
I do feel bad, half bad, because I'm so close between these two, so I get it fully. I think on a numbers point of view, Yanni, Callum, you made a good point that Declan was on all three of our lists, and Callum, you don't really have any affinity at all for the Strokes and love Declan McKenna, and so I think the numbers, even though I said before they probably even out, I guess they don't, do they? I think it's pretty clear that we all like Declan McKenna's album, whereas for you, Callum, and if you'd listened to this album more, maybe it'd been made completely different.
Potentially,
I'm
not shitting on the Strokes because I've been quite complimentary about the album, considering I don't.
If we're doing it as we would be doing it normally, like when we picked our top 3 albums top 3 artists together, we've done it because we've all liked them. Essentially, we've all said that we like the Declan McKenna album. We've not all said that we all like the Strokes album. So
Basically,
No,
I think
but I can appreciate that is definitely top 3. Like, I am happy to accept that.
okay.
I think that says enough. I think that says enough that you can say that, Callum,
Yeah,
having only listened to it very
2 or 3 times, max.
briefly, a few times, that you were allowing it in number 3, and I think I agree with you, Yanni, that it's a fantastic album. Declan, and it feels like I'm kind of putting Declan down. Declan's album is fantastic as well, obviously.
Well, it wouldn't be this high up if it
There's
wasn't,
a reason
was
it's
it?
number 2.
So
Exactly.
okay, well let's combine sports team to Declan.
It's done.
Wow.
Here it is, our list. If you're
Why
looking.
the
I'm
fuck
still
is
feeling about
Idols?
Idols, you know, I'm not gonna
No,
I'm really
it's okay.
not happy with that.
I mean, like, if we want to revisit it, there are others that I would.
No, I'm not revisiting this, mate. This is it.
No,
now.
I can't be arsed, to be honest.
Did you both listen to the Box of Joy album?
Yeah, and I only like
Yeah,
the
but
first song.
not enough.
I really like the
Ah.
first song, but it's again a sorry situation where one song.
What about Andy Schoff?
It didn't really do much for me.
No,
Okay.
definitely not top 10.
Over Idols. This is what I mean. I just feel like I want something to knock Idols
I prefer
off. It's
more
just-
songs
just
from the
annoying.
Idols album out of all the other albums
That's
that
fair
you've all picked.
The way I'm looking at it is Grounds and Rains are fantastic songs that
Yeah.
make me at least a little bit more accepting of the fact that it's on the top 10.
Ultramono is a very good album.
Yeah.
And it happens to be our 10th best album of 2020.
What would be our ninth,
from
Liam?
Fools on Hell. Our 9th best album of 2020 is Everything's album, Reanimator. First time I said that properly. Our 7th, 8th even,
We're doing a me now.
8th best album of 2020 is Blossom's Foolish Loving Spaces. Our 7th best album of 2020 is Bombay Bicycle Club's Everything Else Has Gone Wrong. Our 6th best album is Tame Impala's The Slow Rush. And into our top 5, our 5th best album of 2020 is Eve Tumor's Heaven to a Tortured Mind. Got where it should be, I feel
I'm
like.
happy with that.
Yeah.
After it up, yeah.
After a tricky few top 10s, yeah, I feel happy, even though it wasn't in mine or Callum's top 10, it should be 5th.
Yeah, I
Somehow I agree
yeah.
with that. 4th best album of 2020 from Fools on Hill is HMLTD's West of Eden. And into the top 3, 3rd best album of 2020 is The Strokes' The New Abnormal. The 2nd best album of Declan McKenna, second best album of 2020 is Declan McKenna's Zeros. And our number 1 album of the year 2020, which I don't feel like we've talked about much on
No.
this, but
No,
I guess
it's
that
really
says everything.
underwhelming.
The album
We
speaks
named
for
it
itself.
half hour
Everything.
ago.
Is Sports Team's Deep Down Happy.
Yep.
Should we say a few words on Deep Down Happy?
Yeah, we really liked it. Clearly.
We loved it. It's full of great songs. If you listen to all 3 of our album of the year individuals, you'll hear us talk about it. It was 2nd in my list and 3rd in both of your lists.
Yep.
And it's our number 1 album of the year 2020.
Beautiful.
Well, that wasn't as bad as I expected.
No.
It wasn't that bad.
Are we having a little run through of some singles we've liked from
Oh, yeah.
albums we've not mentioned,
course.
or shall we leave it?
No, let's quickly. I don't know how to
Trying to think
exit
of
full screen. There we go. That's how we do it. So the ones I noticed when I was doing my album of the year were the singles by Melody.
Yeah.
Oh,
London,
yes,
I
yeah.
love you, but you're bringing me down. Fantastic. Listen to that. It's great. And ever since we did the podcast and we mentioned that, it's been I've grown to like it more and more. Glueland. Do Nothing.
By Do Nothing, yeah.
Yep. That's a
Great.
great
Good
one.
one.
I also really like LeBron James. I don't know if that was this year
Um,
or last year. Was it 2019?
I'm not sure. That might
I
have been
can-
last
I can
year.
fact
And
But also
Gangs.
from that,
It
if we
was.
mention that EP, New
Yeah.
Life from that album.
EP as well. We can do that because we've not mentioned EPs before. Carl, you know what? I'm surprised you
Hello.
didn't even. I don't think you did. You honourably mention the Jacks?
No, I don't think it
Oh, yeah.
was in discussion for my top 10.
No?
However, it is a very good
Because I
album.
remember you fucking love
Mhm.
that, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't. I bloody well did, you know. But I don't think it was top 10 worthy just yet.
Okay.
I would say some more singles here. Pretty much all of what Yard Actors released this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Fixer Upper
Particularly
Peanuts.
Fixer Upper for me.
Fixer Up and Peanuts for me, and the new one, Dark Days.
Liam, because you mentioned, was it you that mentioned about like hip hop tracks that got released, and on my
Yes.
I missed out Red Card, which was a BBK
Oh,
joint. That is a
banger!
fucking
I haven't heard.
banger. JME's verse, as on every song, it is just so phenomenal. But the track
It really
it
is
goes
good.
hard and it's so good. So yeah, that's a great single if you're into that kind of shiz.
You also mentioned. Come back to me.
Cal, did we
Hello.
Wash Us in the Blood? Remember when that came out? We kind of like that.
Oh, Kanye, yeah, that's a great
Yeah, we
tune.
kind of like that, didn't we? I remember.
You mentioned this, Yanni, when we talked about on your album of the year, Four Fangs by Freddie Gibbs and Big Sean.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
like that song.
Um,
Another hip hop song that I can't.
We've
remember.
mentioned
La La.
Perfect by Sorry.
Yep.
That's a great tune. A few I really like. The One by Lemon Twigs. I heard that on BBC Six. That's very good. Crocodile by Melt Yourself Down. That's like a weird little jazzy thing. I'm not really a jazz fan, but it's very good. Texas Sun. Sorry. By how do you say this band? Liam?
Khruangbin.
Yes, Khruangbin
Thing.
and Leon Bridges. I Disappear in Your Arms by Christine and the Queens. That's a great tune. Grilled Cheese by Martha Hill. Lunatic with a Loaded Gun by the Blinders. I'm obsessed with that song. It's amazing. And Antidote to Being Bored by Oscar Lang. I really enjoyed that whole EP, but the title track is the main one for me.
wow.
I want to say
Say it.
Vegetable by the band Happiness. It's a very good song. Side A, the EP from Twin Peaks, particularly the song Whistle in the Wind, End of Everything. Love that. Trying to think of something else. Can't Cool Me Down by Carl Street Headrest, and also Martin from the same album.
What was the first track on their latest album? I
Carl Street
really like
Headrest.
that. Yeah, I really like that, but the name escapes me.
The second one is Can't Cool Me Down. Weightlifters.
I don't
Is
know.
that? It might be Can't Cool Me Down you're thinking of. What else is here? I can't think of anything else. I want to say that I discovered. We all discovered YouTube this year, but and it's not from this year. It's from last year. But I'm going to say it anyway. Licking an Orchid.
Big
One of
tune.
the best songs I've ever heard.
It is. It's very good. Yeah, there's we could go on and on. I'm going
could.
back on here, and I've discovered a lot of music this year, and gone back and rediscovered songs. Like for example, I added a lot of Kylie Minogue to my Apple Music. The Calling, Wherever You Will Go,
Oh, big tune.
big tune. I finally added
Oh,
She-Wolf
go on.
to my Apple Music, which should have always
Yep.
been there.
One I would very much like to point out, and I quite often label songs as the best song ever written. That is something that I'm very frivolous with, which I understand I shouldn't be. But I'm going to say this, and you're all going to be like, yes. All the Things She Said by Tattoo.
It's a very good
It's a,
song.
it's a good song, yeah. Well,
I wouldn't say it's the
no,
best
I
song
wouldn't
ever.
either.
I would.
I will challenge
I
that with
would.
Perfect Exceeder by Princess Superstar and Mason.
Oh, what a tune!
You know that one?
Yes.
It's a big one. I rediscovered that
Oh,
this year.
you know what? Another chance. Roger Sanchez. We finally.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. And on that
Yes.
note, everyone.
Listen, I want to throw. Don't say that's mine.
That's mine.
I want to say actually some songs from this year. Night Walking by Lazarus Kane. And probably my two best songs of this year, according to Spotify anyway, were Perfect by Sorry and Born Sugar by Sports Team.
Yeah, we've already done our top
Yeah, we
songs,
have.
haven't we? But
So give it a rest in.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going through my playlist frantically because I didn't plan this beforehand. So is that? Are we?
We're done here.
Well, on that note,
wow.
thank you for listening. Thank you for wrapping up 2020 with us, and let's see what 2021 brings us. Hey, boyo!
Don't forget to follow us everywhere that you possibly can,
Oh.
which is on every platform, because we've made sure we're there. Fools on the Hill on YouTube. Search it with number 1. Like, subscribe, ding
Falls
that
on
bell. Bill.
Also, Falls on Hill podcast on Insta, Facebook, Falls on Hill pod on Twitter. There'll be some playlists available of our favourite songs this year. And on that note again, because I forgot we had to do all that stuff, thank you for listening. Listen to everything else we do, and listen to all the music
Let's do
for your
all
ears.
musics.
Good night and goodbye.
Good night. God bless. If you believe in God.
We've already done that.
Very well.
We've done that one.
We did do that one.
Oh, have we? Oh, sorry.
Let
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Jesus
Sorry.
believes.
Yes. Bless up.
Hit record on.
Right, what we're doing.
What?
Let me make a jump concept.
Why would you do that now after we've started recording?
What's he doing?
Why keep
Is he going to
making a
get
drink now? Jesus
I
Christ.
forgot. Now I'm here. I forgot to do it. Just give me a second. It only takes a minute to
Yeah,
pour it in.
Oh, wow, I forgot to take that lyrics.
Okay. I'm very
Wow,
bright
you
now
should
for some
write
reason. What's
future
going
ahead
on? Oh, gone all red.